He's being very cautious, so I earned the right to go in and kick him in the face. Right, he was scared to press buttons, so I could go in. So it's year 3 and you still want to play and get better at using Marisa. I don't know why you would do that. Maybe you just bought the game and you don't know how low tier she is, or you're like me, a semi-masochistic, semi-delusional fool who thinks that Capcom will at least buff their lowest tier character. It's been 3 years, Capcom! Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, if you're like me, I guess you need a way to get better and hold out until those buffs come in. So that's why I'm making this video. Another reason I'm making this video is because I see a lot of guides being about the ideal setups, combos, and Oki. However, I think that isn't what's holding back 80 to 90% of Marisa players. I think what's holding them back is the way they think the character should be played. Most people play Marisa like she's a YOLO ape, on the words of Strider, a Gorissa. You're like always drive rushing in, jumping in, charging Gladius, charging HP, doing random ass phalanx, whatever it takes to get in. And I think there are 3 reasons why people think this is the way to play her. She has sucky defense, so offense is the best defense, right? She struggles to get in against opponents, so she must drive rush or cheese her way in, right? And she's big. That means she must be played like a big bully, right? All wrong, and this is the reason you're probably getting mauled the higher you go in the ranks. Let me demonstrate. So I set up the red Marisa to be a Gorissa, and let's see how hard it is to stop her. Punish counter, you do that randomly. Another punish counter. Let's see what happens if we just start neutral jumping everything. Right. Right. You get the idea. My point is, Marisa just isn't that kind of character. A lot of her moves are reactable. You can easily check her drive rush. Her drive rush is so slow, and the button you normally want to press out of that is HP, which is also very slow. She can easily be checked out of it. I mean, she can use Gladius to kind of tease you a bit, but if the spacing is just a bit off, she can be hit with a low forward. There's a lot of things she just randomly loses to, so your opponent doesn't necessarily need to be thinking very hard. They could just be randomly neutral jumping. They could just be randomly pressing a button of their own, and more often than not, it's going to beat Marisa's options if you just play recklessly. That's why I don't think she's that kind of character. It's not to say that the playstyle is wrong. It's just that you should be using other characters for that. Maybe you should be using a Kimberly for that. You know, where her drive rush is fast, it's hard to react to. She's got a whole bunch of other things, other ways to get in. She can slide in, she can teleport in.
If you've come to fight,
things like that. So how should Marisa be played if you can't neutral skip your way in? I think she should be played very slow and methodically, so to minimize risk. And what you're going to want to do is go in and just chip their drive gauge, or go in, get them in a mix-up, right? This kind of mix-up. That's ideally what you want to do. But then that starts the whole RPS. So they don't want you to come in and chip their drive gauge or put them in the 50-50. So they're going to stick out buttons to stop you like that. And that's what you want to bait out. So you're going to walk in, and then you're going to walk out, and then you're going to punish like that. You walk in, you walk out, and you punish. So it's going to look something like this. Alright, you walk in, walk out, and if they don't press anything, there's your opportunity to actually hit them. Right? So if they don't protect your space, you get to go in. But let's say they are going to protect their space, right? So let's say you walk into their space, they're going to want to protect it. So then that's when you punish them. Like so. So that becomes basically Marisa's archetype. She's basically your slow, forward moving counter puncher. You have to think of her as a counter puncher. So she wants to bait people into making mistakes utilizing her movement, so she's threatening this, but you know that he's not gonna let you do that, so you're gonna bait him to press a button, and then you're gonna attack. And a lot of times that's how you get most of your damage. Another thing that Marisa wants to do, and part of her win condition, is that because she's exerting this aura of, you know, trying to bait out your move, trying to move you forward, oftentimes people will find themselves in the corner just by you just doing this, doing this, doing this. Both of you are playing the new footsies game, seeing who's going to press first, and then he's in the corner. And that's where you want to be, because now he doesn't have a lot of room to move around, to shimmy you, and so on. And that's going to put him in a difficult situation, and he's going to make mistakes. Like he's going to try to drive rush out or jump out, and you got to be ready for that. Like so. Right? And that's how you get most of your damage. So you need to think of Marisa as a forward advancing counter puncher who is slowly edging the opponents into the corner where they feel pressured and they feel that they have to jump out, they have to make a move on or not, they're going to be cornered, and you're going to capitalize on that pressure that you're exerting on them. So why is Marisa's game plan so slow, tedious, and more difficult than other characters? It's very simple, because she's very slow. She doesn't have a good low forward drive rush, and she can't catch people moving backwards. So a lot of times when people move backwards, she takes forever to catch up, and they can do this to her. However, if the roles are reversed, they can easily catch up to her and do that. However, Marisa doesn't get that. So if I'm using Marisa, for example, I can't catch her. It takes forever to catch her, and if I just hold forward like that, I'm gonna eat a low forward drive rush, and I'm gonna die. So that's why you need the wall. Alright, comes here, and then finally I can start attacking her. But if we are in the middle of the screen, she can escape anywhere onto the screen. I can't do anything about it. I can, like this, she can react with a button, check my drive rush because it's so slow. So because of these limitations of your move speed and your lack of ways to catch them, even your sweep is bad, you kind of end up always having to play reactionary. They get to run backwards, and depending on their character, they can decide when to engage with you. So they usually walk back a bit, walk forward a bit, but they usually get to dictate the pace of the game. They get to dictate when they're gonna neutral skip. Am I gonna go for example, if she's using Cammy, she gets to decide when she's gonna go for a dive kick, and you have to react to it. You don't get to call the shots, right? You can only anticipate it, put in countermeasures through your movement, and through the specials you use and the reactions you use to check her. But for the most part, you are playing reactionary. So same goes with zoners like JP or characters with fireballs. They're gonna go back, they're gonna throw fireball at you, and then they're gonna drive rush at you. So it's up to you to react. That's why I say you are a counter puncher, because of your low move speed and because of their ability to kind of zone you in a way. You are forced to react, right? It's not that you choose to do so. By default, you are forced to do so. That is not to say that all you do is just sit around and try to bait with punishes, because people that becomes very obvious very quickly. So that's not what you're gonna do the whole game. You just do that enough to establish respect. So you check their anti-airs, you check their drive rush, you check their neutral skips, you counter their dive kicks, for example, and of course you whiff punish their attempts at checking your movement. And after all that, they are going to be scared, right, to press buttons. Only then have you earned enough respect to go in and press 6HK into drive cancel and then put them into a mix-up. Because reactions are so important to Marisa, that's why one of the key drills I like is setting Luke to drive rush at me, jump at me, throw fireball, use drive impact, and also utilize a low forward. Let me give you an example of the drill I do in between sets. Okay, you get the idea. So I'm gonna play this game as an example, right?
Round 1. Fight!
Okay. Is that neutral? See, he's in the corner already. Now he's gonna play risky. He has to get out somehow. So is he gonna DP? I missed the punish there. He's being very cautious, so I earned the right to go in and kick him in the face. Right, he was scared to press buttons, so I could go in. Now is he there? He's gonna skip neutral. He was undeterred, he jumped twice, so now I have to earn back respect. There, I noticed he was smashing even though he was stealing turns. There. Miss input. Nice. He's being a bit greedy. And he goes for a skip. So I notice he's going for a lot of skips. I have to, and he likes to walk right up in front before he jumps. So there you go. I also notice he's been parrying a lot. So I should shimmy more because he does the throw tag. And there we go. So I think he wasn't very experienced, that wasn't a very good example, but you get the idea, right? You notice that he's gonna jump at you, so you just react first. Then after earning respect, then you get to go in. However, if you saw like in that game, no matter how many times I anti-aired him or knocked him out the air, he just kept going for the jumps anyway. So in that situation, you're saying, I've never earned respect, so all I have to do is just anti-air him and then take Oki, anti-air him and take Oki, and that way you win. That's why you are always reacting first, and then only when people start respecting you, you move on to the next phase of the game. So I'm going to give you some rules of thumb to follow in order to improve your Marisa. Things you should take away from this video on how to improve your games as Marisa is understanding, firstly, Marisa is a counter puncher, not a gorilla. Secondly, train your reactions to punish neutral skips because you don't get to dictate the pace of the game, they do. So you need to be able to react in order to successfully play Marisa. Thirdly, you need to learn how to bait whiffs via movement and successfully punish the whiffs. Fourth, you need to learn how to walk your opponents into the corner. A lot of times, you don't need to do much more than take the space that they are already giving you and stay aware and react to them. 5, anticipate the risk that they're going to take to escape the corner once they are there. And 6, if they respect you too much, then use 6HK in a way where you can buffer it into Gladius to chip their drive gauge, or you can drive rush cancel and put them into a mix-up situation. Okay, and if they never respect you, then you don't have to change your strategy. You just have to keep reacting to them, anti-air them for example, and then take Oki. If you found this video useful, drop a like, subscribe, and if you're still struggling, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can help you out in the next video.